and today is another day of Feeding Tube Awareness Week. And throughout this week, I'll be posting videos about feeding tubes, and I've been posting stuff on social media about feeding tubes. Feeding Tube 101. So basically, this video is for just basically anybody who wants to know more about feeding tubes. This video is for you. So basically what a feeding tube is a tube that goes to your stomach or part of your intestines that gives you adequate nutrition, whether you can't eat any food at all, whether you can't get enough food by mouth. There are many different reasons why people have feeding tubes. People of all ages, from babies to adults, have feeding tubes. So yeah, that's basically what a feeding tube is. The nasogastric tube. So basically what the nasogastric tube is a tube that goes through your nose to your stomach or past your stomach to part of your intestines called the jejunum, and it is placed by they just put the tube into your nose and just keep pushing it in until it gets to your stomach or past that to your intestine. Yeah. And then there's something called the G-tube, and I have a G-tube myself, and basically that's a tube that is placed through surgery. They put a little hole into your stomach and they place the tube there, and it just sits there. And you can get a low profile button like I have. It can come with an extension set, and you connect this to there if you want to get feeds or medicine, etc. And then there's the just the G-tube, which can have, instead of having to add the extension set, it can just be a long tube and it just stays there and you don't have to connect the extension set. And then there's the J-tube, which is basically, instead of being in your stomach, it is into part of your intestines, and it can be a button as well, like a low profile button, and it can also come just as a long tube. And then there's the GJ tube, which is both. It goes to your stomach and part of your intestines. Now there are really many different shapes and sizes of tubes. You can have a low profile button, and you can need an extension set. You can just have the long tube hanging out of you. There are many companies that make feeding tubes. What worked best for me in my lifestyle is a low profile button. How I get fed through a feeding tube. So basically, there are different ways you can get fed through a feeding tube. There is something called bolus feeds and something called continuous feeds. And I'm going to start with continuous. You get a pump, and this is the Kangaroo Joey pump. I'm not going to talk about the different pumps, but I use the Kangaroo Joey pump. And basically, you get a pump, and you get I can't hold this up. You get a pump and you get a feed bag, and this is what I use. And this connects to the pump, and you pour your formula in, and then this pump here controls how fast your food goes in, how much you get in an hour, and things. That is continuous feeds. Those feeds are just basically gravity feeds. You take your syringe, and this is an unopened syringe, and you connect it to your tube, and you pour your formula in, and you hold it up, and it goes in through gravity. So those are how you get fed through a feeding tube. You can get medicines in a feeding tube. You can get your formula, your food. You can get water, Gatorade. Basically, yeah. So there's many different things you can get in your feeding tube, and those are just a few things that you can get. There are many different types of formulas. The formula I'm using now is called Peptamen. That's what works for me. But there are many different types of formulas out there. Some people do blenderized diets, which basically means they blend up their food and put it into the tube. Some people use formulas, and I use formulas. There are many different formulas out there, and you're just going to need to find the formula that works for you. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you have any questions, be sure to comment down below. And if there was anything in the video that I wasn't able to cover and you want to be covered, let me know. And be sure to follow me on my social media accounts. And I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all.